Hello everyone, my name is Vanessa. The name of my channel is called Gnostic Knowledge, and what I am doing on this channel is reading from a book. The name of that book is called Letters and Numbers, written by Zachry Hubbard. And you can get a copy of this book yourself by visiting Zachry Hubbard's YouTube channels, Gematria Affect News or Gematria Affect Sports. And in the description of each of the videos that he produces, he leaves a link for you to purchase the book. The book costs $5, and it will come to you via email as a PDF file. So be sure when you get the book that you save it to the hard drive of your phone, computer, laptop, or what have you, so that you will have access to the book always. He left the copyright off this book so that you could take it to your local bindery and have it bound into a book for your own personal library. You can also upload it to lulu.com, and they will make it into a book for you and mail it back to you. The information in this book is phenomenal. It is eye-opening. It is about gematria, and gematria is the encoding of numbers within our letters and words. And every word we speak has a numerical value. And once you learn the code, you can see how the elites communicate with one another over the heads of the common folks, such as myself, But once you learn the code, you can see what's going on, and you can see just how scripted and manufactured our history is. And that's for everyone, not just it's for any race. Everyone's history has been scripted by the scriptures in the Bible and by this code. So I encourage you to get the book and learn the code and see what has been taking place. Zachry Hubbard also wrote a second book in continuation of Letters and Numbers, and that book is called Number Games. Now, I pre-ordered this book a few months ago, and I finally got it about a week or so ago. And this book is entitled Number Games, from 9/11 to Coronavirus. It is now available on Amazon and as a pre-order, and from what I understand, it is on the best selling list for pre-order. So please get yourself a copy of this book. It is supposed to be released on October 13th, that infamous number. But anyway, and this is Zachry Hubbard. That is the young man that wrote the book. If you don't want to order the book from Amazon, you can get the book. You can get the book from Zachry Hubbard directly by visiting his blog page. And the blog page is called gematriaaffectnews.blogspot.com. And the first thing you'll see when you get to that page is the advertising for the book. And as you scroll down, you will see the information on how to purchase the book within the United States and abroad. But just make sure you get the book. These books, the information is just, man, it is crazy, but it is true. This is stuff you don't have to believe in. This is information you can prove 1,000,000% that it is being orchestrated by a code, and that it is being used, and that the Bible is the main source. The Torah is the source of this code that has an effect on every human being on this planet. And it is false. It is wrong what they're doing. But anyway, also be sure to read the blogs on Zachry Hubbard's blog page. He has a lot of great content there, and you can get an understanding of how gematria works. He also has a previous blog page called freetofindtruth.blogspot.com, and he'd been blogging there for over 5 years, so there is a massive amount of content still there that you can go and read about past news stories and sports stories and all types of crap that is done by this code. And with that said, I am going to continue in chapter 20. Chapter 20 is entitled Murder by Numbers, the Gematria Killing Code. And I am on, at the bottom of page 619, about to read page 620. And the next death that we're reading about is Flip Saunders. He was born February 23rd, 1955, and he died October 25th, 2015. Flip Saunders, the former NBA head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, would drop dead 3 days before the start of the NBA season, on the day leaving 67 days left in the year. He was a Cleveland native, and he was murdered for the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James's scripted NBA Finals championship to come later that season. As I explained the day of his passing, Flip Saunders died on his 35th week of being his age, and the nickname King James sums to 35 in reduction. Later that NBA season, LeBron James would win the NBA Finals on June 19, 2016, the real King James's birthday. Further from that date, Flip Saunders passed. Further from the date Flip Saunders passed to the date Cleveland won the championship was a span of 239 days, which is the 52nd prime number. With the Cleveland championship, they broke a 52-year curse of no major sports title since 1964, when Jim Brown won it with the Cleveland Browns. Wow. Consider further, Minnesota, where Flip was coaching, has reverse reduction gematria of 52. Also noteworthy, the Timberwolves' first game of the season after the passing of Flip Saunders was against the Los Angeles Lakers. As you might know, the Lakers are originally from Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, thus the name. I predicted before the game was played that the final score would sum to 223 points, as a tribute to Flip Saunders, who was born February 23rd, or 223, and also to King James, who ruled for 22 years over 3 kingdoms, another 223. At the same time, the name James has a satanic gematria of 223. Sure enough, the Timberwolves would beat the Lakers 112 to 111, a sum of 223 points, as scripted and easily predicted. That game was played October 28, 2015. Moving right along. Dave Henderson, July 21st, 1958, died December 27, 2015. Dave Henderson would drop dead a span of 57 days from the conclusion of the 111th World Series, November 1st, or 11-1, at age 57, where World Series has gematria of 57. He was remembered for playing in the 86 World Series against the New York Mets, the same team that would lose to the Kansas City Royals in the 111th World Series, which Dave was sacrificed for. For another 57, the name Henderson equates to the value of 57 as well. Also worth mentioning, I predicted in spring training of that season the New York Mets would reach the 111th World Series because New York has gematria of 111, and a few other factors which we'll get to in the chapter on sports rigging. This death served as yet another reminder: not only are the games scripted, but they are also accompanied with the ritual of Not only are the games scripted, but they are also accompanied with the ritual sacrifice of human beings. In this case, there was a bit of racism thrown in as well, with Henderson being killed 159 days after his birthday, July 21st, 2015 as a black man. And black man equates to 159 in Gematria. Natalie Cole, February 6, 1950, died December 31st, 2015. Natalie Cole, having reverse reduction gematria of 65, would die at age 65, reminding how her father, Nat King Cole, who died on February 15, 1965, emphasis on 65, remember, the number 65 symbolizes music. And here we are discussing the deaths of two music greats. As for her full name, Natalie Marie Cole, it had reduction gematria of 67, connecting to blood sacrifice. She also died a span of 38 days from her upcoming 66th birthday. As for her passing on New Year's Eve, it has gematria of 44 in both the septenary and Chaldean ciphers, the number connecting to kill. Consider her father died in the time of Lupercalia, the festival that begins on the 44th day of the year, having gematria of 44. Historically, December is also a ripe month for celebrity deaths, and not coincidentally. December, Sacrifice, and Satan all share gematria of 55, and again, it is the synagogue of Satan that are responsible for these calculated deaths, deciding whose number is up. Also worth mentioning, Natalie Cole's birth numerology and death numerology equates to 58, the number of the gang. David Bowie, born January 8, 1947, died January 10, 2016. And okay, David Bowie heading for first #1 album in U.S. on Billboard 200 chart with Black Star. Okay, that was a headline. David Bowie would die 2 days after turning 69 years old and releasing his 25th studio album, Black Star. What do we know about 25? Yes, it connects to death and time as well as rock. And I don't know about you, but when I think of a black star, I think of a solar eclipse. And it is interesting to note that a year and a half after Bowie's death, the United States of America would experience the first total eclipse spanning across the nation west to east in 99 years. In light of it being 99 years corresponding with the United States of America, let us examine the numerology of the date the Black Star album released on his 69th birthday, knowing that eclipse has ordinal gematria of 69. So January 8, 1 plus 8 of course is 9. 2016, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6, that equals 9. Thus the date had a connection to 9 and 9, not unlike 99. And let me show you really quickly here the Stone Temple Pilots album cover before I read a little bit more on. Okay. It is interesting to note that Scott Weiland of Stone Temple Pilots, who is remembered for the album number 4, which has a very similar cover to the Black Star album shown just above. I just showed you that. He died 38 days before Bowie in Minnesota, having gematria of 38 and 110. Consider Bowie died on January 10th, a date that can be expressed as 110, not unlike the number 110. Speaking of which, they said his cause of death was liver cancer, having ordinal and LCH Kabbalah gematria of 110 and reverse ordinal of 187. Also about those two albums, Number 4 released October 26, 1999. And David Bowie announced the coming release of Black Star on October 26, 2015. October 26th is the day, leaving 66 days left in the year, corresponding with the gematria of rock and roll. On the subject of 187, rock has satanic gematria of 187 and ordinal gematria of 47. Consider, Bowie was born in 47 and died on a date with numerology of 47. Even more, the name John has gematria of 47 and 187, and Christian equates to 47. I bring up this point because on David Bowie's final album, he has a song called Lazarus, which he released as a single a span of 25 days before his death, December 17th. In the book of John, Jesus performs a miracle raising Lazarus from the dead after 4 days. Interestingly, the name Lazarus has gematria of 98, same as David Bowie's birth name, David Robert Jones. Even more, the music video for Lazarus released January 7th, a span of 4 days before his announced death. 7, 8, 9, 10. Black Star, David Bowie album reveals hidden image. Okay. On the date of his passing, it was reported an 18-month battle with cancer was the cause of his passing. Consider his birthday was January 8 or 1-8 or 8-1. In the case of 8-1, it is much like 81, corresponding with ritual, as well as the name Bowie, which is also the product of 9 times 9, reminding of the eclipse. Adding to the cancer ritual and tying in with the eclipse narrative, astrological symbol for cancer appears as 69, was the headline from CNN May 4th, 2016 that is shown. This came a span of 118 days. Cancer equates to 118 in reverse ordinal. From the release of the album. Okay, this came a span of 118 days from the release of the album. Cancer equates to 118 in reverse ordinal. Keep in mind that May 5th or 5-4 is a lot like the gematria of Sun, which sums to 54 and 18, and that's S-U-N. Even more, the name Bowie and the word sun also have gematria overlap with 27 and 54. As for what was revealed on this date, it was that if you expose the album to sunlight, it reveals a hidden star field. Something else worth noting on the subject of the sun, is it and Black Star share gematria overlap in the 4 base ciphers, which you can verify at gematrinator.com. David Bowie drummer Dale Griffin dies at the age of 67. Okay. Also relevant was that David Bowie's music career began in 67, 49 years earlier. In gematria terms, both David Bowie and Starfield sum to 49 and 94. Wow. Interestingly, the Bowie album, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, released on June 16, 1972, a date with numerology of 94, an important number to the NASA space program and outer space. As for the number 67, 7 days after Bowie's passing, his drummer would die at age 67. That was January 17, 2016, a date with numerology of 27 and 54, corresponding with Bowie. For the record, the word drummer has the fateful gematria of 38. Wow. Alan Rickman February 21st, 1946. Died January 14, 2016. Coming on the back of David Bowie's death from cancer at 69, Alan Rickman would also die from cancer at the same age just 4 days later. Again, the astrological sign for Cancer is much like the number 69. Adding insult to injury, Alan Rickman died 38 days before his 70th birthday. He was well remembered for playing Dr. Lazarus on Galaxy Quest, a TV show having gematria of 44, corresponding with Cancer. Get the joke? Man. Antonin Scalia, March 11, 1936, February 13, 2016. Wicked bastard. At age 79, on the 44th day of the year, February 13th, or 213, the first day of Lupercalia, Antonin Scalia would reportedly be found dead on a ranch, having ordinal gematria of 44, with a pillow over his head, having ordinal gematria of 87. With regards to the gematria of 87, Antonin and Justice both sum to 87 in the same method, making the reporting of the pillow gematria perfect for the story. For another fitting detail, the location of his death was Shafter, Texas, having reduction gematria of 47, corresponding with the words judge, obey, and gavel, as we learned about earlier. Also relevant, he died on a date with numerology of 51, corresponding with the words federal, conspiracy, and even Antonin Scalia. In the wake of this story, conspiracy was the word from CNN to the SHIELD agent Alex Jones, who reported 79% of his followers suspect foul play in the death of Scalia. Knowing the code, you don't have to wonder where they got the number 79% from in their made-up reporting. By knowing the code, you can also determine how this date of departure for Scalia was planned long in advance and foreshadowed even in cartoons, not unlike September 11, 2001. Starting with The Simpsons, November 2nd, 2014, a date with numerology of 47, and where 211 is the 47th prime. The episode Opposites Attract, A-F-R-A-C-K, Opposites Attract, debuted, where a portion of the storyline was the bedroom of Antonin Scalia being demolished. This episode came out precisely 66 weeks and 6 days before his death, or a span of 67 weeks total. Consider Opposites Attract, Supreme Court, and Number of the Beast share gematria of 174, where the number of the beast is 666. Also, as a reminder, Satanic and Blood Sacrifice have gematria of 67. Equally as interesting, the name of the episode also has gematria of 87, same as the phrase Antonin Scalia bedroom. Tying in was the May 20th, 2007 Family Guy episode, Meet the Quagmires, also summing to 87. In this episode, Dick Cheney, a name summing to 87, accidentally shoots Antonin Scalia on a hunting trip, not unlike the news from February 11, 2006, when Cheney from the 44th state, Wyoming, had reportedly accidentally shot his hunting partner while quail hunting on a ranch in Texas. Consider May 20th, the date of the episode, is the day that leaves 225 days left in the year, and from Dick Cheney, and from the Dick Cheney shooting incident to the death of Scalia was 522 weeks. Proving this was no coincidence is the fact Dick Cheney and Antonin both have Sumerian gematria of 522, which is the product of 87 times 6. Boy, these people are some sick people. It's just another reminder the news is no more real than what is in the sitcoms, even the cartoons. Man. And let us not forget that the writer of Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane, MacFarlane, Seth MacFarlane, supposedly would have been on one of the planes that crashed on September 11th. If only he didn't miss his doomed flight. Yeah, right. This is some BS. Another piece of potential predictive programming for the death of Antonin Scalia was the film The Pelican Brief, having reduction gematria of 79, just the same as Cibolo, Cibolo, Cibolo or Cibolo Creek Ranch, where Scalia died, again at age 79, where murder equates to 79. 79 is the murder number. That film released December 17, 1993, and begins with 2 members of the Supreme Court being killed. Interestingly, the last 2 members of the Supreme Court to die while in office were Antonin Scalia and William Rehnquist. Rehnquist, Rehnquist. Antonin Scalia and William Rehnquist, the latter of which passed September 3rd, 2005, a standout date having numerology of 47 and connecting to William Rehnquist having gematria of 93, not unlike the year of the release of the film. Making matters even more interesting, that film runs 141 minutes and released on a date with numerology of 141, and Scalia died a span of 141 days from his 29-year anniversary of being on the Supreme Court, which fell on September 26, 2015. For the record, Rehnquist joined the court September 25, 1986, the day before Scalia in the same year. Speaking of 86, let us not forget that blood sacrifice has gematria of 86, and those 2 men were the only 2 justices to die on the bench in the last 60 years. Order equates to 60 in the ordinal cipher. Continuing with the numerical rituals, Antonin Scalia, his casket would be put on display at the Supreme Court February 19, 2016, a date with numerology of 57, corresponding with the gematria of Supreme Court, Scottish Rite, and Conspiracy. The next day, February 20th, 2016, the 51st day of the year, a date with numerology of 38, corresponding with death, and the coordinates of DC on the 38th parallel north, as well as numerology of 58, corresponding with the gematria of Washington and Freemasonry. The funeral for Scalia would be conducted. It was a closed casket ceremony. In light of him not taking any buckshots in the face of Dick Cheney, one should ask, why was it closed? Also, it was held at the Basilica of the National Shrine, having gematria of 163, the 38th prime number syncing with the date. Wow. Denise Matthews, January 4th, 1959, died February 15th, 2016. All right. Vanity. This is from a headline from the book Vanity. Or maybe it just says Vanity. She was in a group called Vanity. Vanity. Prince protege dies at 57. And this was written February 15th, 2016, 4:34 p.m. Okay. Denise Matthews, better known by her artist name Vanity, having gematria of 46 like sacrifice, would die on the 46th day of the year, 42 days after her birthday in February, just before the 58th Grammys. Her age of passing matched the gematria of her birth name, Denise Matthews, as well as the word entertainer. Regarding her birth name, it also had gematria of 213, corresponding with death, as well as Black History Month, which she passed in on the third day of Lupercalia, the festival that begins February 13th, having gematria of 44, similar to Kill. For another 44, her nickname, Nasty Girl, also equated to the value. Regarding her death coming before the 58th Grammys, her cause of death was said to be kidney disease, having reduction gematria of 58. The date of her death also had numerology of 33, corresponding with the reduction gematria of Grammys, summing to 33. On the date of her passing, I put out a video warning that her former boyfriend was going to be next, born in 58 and having a June 7th birthday, not unlike 67, as well as name gematria of 118, corresponding with death. Of course, I am talking about Prince Rogers Nelson, better known as Prince, an artist name summing to 38, same as death. Fittingly, he would die a span of 67 days later in an elevator, having gematria of 118 as well. On the subject of 118, I should mention that Vanity's nickname Nasty Girl also equates to the value. Due to his death, the popularity of my work multiplied exponentially, which was a sad reality. People should have already been listening based on my track record, but it took the death of a legend for many to recognize its worth. Bradley R. Smith, February 18, 1930, died February 18, 2016. On his 86th birthday, on the date February 18 or 2/18, Bradley R. Smith would die from unreported causes. He was remembered for the book Confessions of a Holocaust Revisionist, questioning the reported facts of Jewish extermination during World War II. For his efforts, he was heavily scrutinized in mainstream press. Of course he was. As for his date of passing, as you know, blood sacrifice equates to 86 in reverse reduction, and death has English extended gematria of 218. Even more curious than that is the fact that birthday and Holocaust equate to 42. And the Holocaust is said to have begun in 1942. Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can pronounce this. Trentavious White. Trentavious. Trentavious White. Bankroll Fresh. Okay. He was born August 2nd, 1987. Died March 4th, 2016. Wow. This 28-year-old rapper was murdered for the man who signed him, the rapper 2 Chainz, who was 38 years old at the time. The date of his death came 174 days after the 38th birthday of 2 Chainz, who was born September 12, 1977. Where he was killed was right in front of their rap label at building number 1740. 174. Oh my gosh. 1740. Okay, the building number 1740. As for the name of the label, Street Execs, EXECS, it has gematria of 44 and 64, corresponding with kill, as well as values of 143 and 154 connecting to Scottish rite of Freemasonry. In the case of 154, it also connects to ritual sacrifice. Consider further, his date of death, March 4th, 2016, was a date that can be expressed as 3/4 or 4/3, connecting to murder and killing, respectively. Even more, it was a date with numerology of 43. For one last part of the sick joke, the word bank has ordinal gematria of 28, tying in with his rap name, Bankroll Fresh. Wow. Rest in peace to Bankroll Fresh. Wow. Robert Redbird Sr., July 22nd, 1939, and he died March 5th, 2016. And I do not know who this is, but we shall see. All right. Robert Redbird Sr., the Native American artist who has a holiday in his honor every June 7th. Wow, 67. A date that can be expressed as 7/6 in Oklahoma, having ordinal gematria of 76, would die at age 76, 227 days after his July 22nd or 22/7 birthday. Consider he was part of the Kiowa, Kiowa, Kiowa tribe, having reverse reduction gematria of 67. You could also say he died on the 228th day of his age, a number corresponding with death in Sumerian gematria. Further, his passing came 94 days before his annual Oklahoma birthday, and not by chance. The name Robert Redbird Sr. has a reduction value of 94 when S is counted as 10. Lastly, his date of passing had numerology of 44. And so he died March 5th, 2016. You would add 3 plus 5 plus 20 plus 16. That equates to 44. Nancy Devil Reagan. Nancy Reagan, born July 6, 1921, died March 6, 2016. Nancy Reagan would die at age 94, corresponding with the reverse reduction gematria of her full name, Nancy Davis Reagan. Making matters even more interesting, if you write out 94 as a word, it has reverse ordinal value of 123, and she died a span of 123 days from her upcoming birthday. Consider 94 also has gematria of 147, the same as U.S. President and President of the United States. Of course, she was the wife of Ronald Reagan and lived in the White House, which has 147 windows. Oh my word. Jeffrey Nichols, February 3rd, 1989, and died March 26, 2016. A woman asked me if I could look into the death of this man because she knew him. He was a 27-year-old Texas State Trooper, and he reportedly died on the 86th day of 2016 at age 27 in a single car accident, hitting a tree at a high rate of speed after veering off of 98 near Tigertown, Texas. Well, it says FM 38 near Tigertown, Texas. Sorry about that. The number 27 and 86 go without explaining. Absolutely. He joined the 27 club. And you know, and while I was still working for the Department of Corrections years ago, they had started hiring a lot of young troopers too, highway state patrols. With them, I know here in Washington State, but I'm assuming maybe everywhere. But still, 27. Okay, moving right along. What jumps out about this specific man being involved in this suspicious and fateful accident is his name gematria, in light of the fact he crashed into a tree. That's because the name Jeffrey Nichols has a reverse ordinal gematria of 2, 2, 3, reminding that the tree of life has 22 paths and 3 columns. Further, the number 223 is the 48th prime number, and tree has an ordinal value of 48. Making matters even more interesting, he died 52 days after his 27th birthday, and as you learned earlier, Tree of Life, Etz HaChaim, Kabbalah, the Kabbalah, and Gematria all share Gematria of 52. The same is true of death. Think about it. The tree took his life. I'll remind that there is an evil side of Kabbalah, where the word evil equates to 48 in ordinal gematria, the same as tree. Last, a section of Highway 82 was renamed in his honor. This is fascinating because the gematria of his full name, Jeffrey Dunn Nichols, summing to 82 in reverse reduction. Wow. That stretch of highway begins at the 4200 block of Lamar Ave. Consider, he was stationed in Paris, Texas, having reduction gematria of 42. It's amazing. Paris, Texas equates to 42. In reduction, the word Paris equates to 27. My. Focus. Okay, let me go ahead and show you guys this picture before I begin reading, so you can already have a visual. Okay, and in that picture you should be able to see the word focus right above that little tiny dot. Focus. Okay, alrighty. Will Smith, New Orleans Saints, born July 4th, 1981, died April 9th, 2016. Will Smith, the former NFL player and New Orleans Saints, was reportedly involved in a car accident that turned into an altercation that resulted in him being fatally shot April 9th, 2016. The killer's name was reported as Cardell Hayes, Cardellhayes, Cardell Hayes, summing to 59, similar to the words accident and kill. What stood out right away is the night of the shooting. The actor Will Smith was receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award at the MTV Movie Awards, which had a gold and black color theme, the same colors of the New Orleans Saints, the same colors the New Orleans Saints wear. Making matters even more interesting, Will Smith, the actor, had recently starred in a film titled Focus, which had to do with professional football, gambling, numbers, and the city of New Orleans. That film released February 27, 2015, where 2/27 is much like 227, the 49th prime, and Will Smith, the football player, died on April 9th or 4/9, a date with numerology of 49 as well. 4 plus 9 plus 20 plus 16 equates to 49. As a reminder, NFL has reverse ordinal gematria of 49. At the same time, movie awards equates to 49 in reduction. I documented in the days after Smith's death that CNN had a feature story on his killing from April 12, 2016, where in the reporting the viewer was shown the front of a camera lens with the word focus on the side of it. This was a subtle clue to the murder riddle being presented to the unconscious viewers. Expanding on those clues, Focus released on a date with numerology of 44. 2 plus 27 plus 15 equates to 44. Connecting to the gematria of Will Smith, kill, shooting, and car crash. Consider, Will Smith, the football player, had won Super Bowl 44 with the Saints, a team named summing to 44 in reverse reduction, and reminding that they won Super Bowl 44 after Hurricane Katrina, which made landfall on Louisiana August 29, 2005, a date with numerology of 44. 8 plus 29 plus 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5 equates to 44. For yet another football parallel, Will Smith, the actor, had also recently starred in Concussion, another film about NFL football, which released December 25th, 2015, a date with numerology of 45, connecting to the Gematria of New Orleans, where Will Smith was killed, the football player. Wow. Adding to the significance of the number, the football player's death came 197 days after the actor's 47th birthday, and 197 is the 45th prime number. Wow. Further, from the release of the film Concussion to the shooting was a span of 107 days, connecting to the gematria of shooting and ritual sacrifice. For one more movie connection, Will Smith would star in Suicide Squad, which debuted August 5th, 2016. 8 plus 5 plus 20 plus 16 equates to 45. And that was a span of 119 days from the shooting, connecting to the gematria of suicide. In that film, he played the character Deadshot. You could also say it released 118 days after his death. Worth mentioning is that the full name of the dead football player, William Raymond Smith III, has reduction gematria of 121, reminding that Revelation has ordinal gematria of 121 and reduction gematria of 49. At the same time, blood sacrifice has ordinal gematria of 121. Wow. Later that same year, December 1st, 2016, 12 plus 1 plus 20 plus 16 equates to 49, which can be written 12/1, former NFL player Joe McKnight would be killed in Louisiana in an act of road rage, a related story to what took place with Will Smith. Consider, Will Smith was 34 years old at the time of his death, connecting to murder, and Joe McKnight was 28, connecting to kill. Will Smith died 86 days before his birthday, connecting to blood sacrifice, and Joe McKnight died a span of 137 days from his upcoming birthday, the number connecting to NFL and Satanic. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Prince Rogers Nelson, born June 7, 1958, died April 21st, 2016. That's his date of death. Okay, on August 3rd, 1983, a fateful date in numbers, and nearly 33 years before his death, Prince recorded the song I Would Die For You, with the number 4 and the letter U. Okay. Spelled as if he knew the future culture of instant messaging and texting. I'm going to read that over, okay? On August 3rd, 1983, a fateful date in numbers and nearly 33 years before his death, Prince recorded the song I Would Die For You, spelled as if he knew about the future culture of instant messaging and texting. In light of the title, consider the letter U is the 21st letter, and Prince died on 4/21, sort of like for you. Recall further, 83 was the same year Murder by Numbers was released by the band The Police. Even more, in 1993 he recorded the song 319, a number connected to Masonic and killing, syncing with how he died 319 days after his 57th birthday. Making the number even more interesting, if you write out 319, it has gematria of 57, and if you write out 319, it sums to 65, like Prince and music. For another parallel, the day Vanity passed was the day leaving 319 days left in the year. The day of Prince's death, it was also Queen Elizabeth's 90th birthday, older than Prince by nearly 33 years, a difference corresponding with the gematria of England as well as Masonry. At the same time, let us not forget that 90, the word, has gematria of 33. For her birthday and the day of Prince's death, they lit up Niagara Falls purple, where Niagara also sums to 33. Even better, Niagara Falls equates to 47, 79, 101, and 223 in the 4 base ciphers, 3 of which have to do with killing, and the other being a signature of the gang. In terms of the color purple, it has gematria of 34, 74, and 88. As a reminder, murder connects to 34, killing and Masonic to 74, and poison, as well as arsenic poisoning to 88. And I'm sure I didn't read that correctly, so I'm going to read it one more time. As a reminder, murder connects to 34, killing and Masonic to 74, and poison, as well as arsenic poisoning to 88. Alrighty. Adding to the riddles, Purple Rain and Queen of England both have gematria of 58, like Freemasonry, and the Grammy number 58 that Vanity died before. Even more interesting, Niagara Falls is the hometown of Vanity. Purple lit Niagara Falls, CN Tower mistaken as Prince tributes. Queen Elizabeth was celebrating her 90th birthday, which fell on same day as the musician's death, and he was sacrificed for her. Shit. Even more Masonic tributes. Prince Nelson, summing to 144, died 47 days before his 58th birthday, dying on a date numerology of 61. Consider the word time has gematria of 47, 61, and 144, and Prince was closely associated with the group Morris Day and the Time. The next year, Morris Day, summing to 59 as well as 58, would perform at the 59th Grammys at age 59, singing Jungle Love, a title having gematria of 42, and a song that begins with monkey sound. And you know, singers just love that song. But now I know the code is like, oh my god, these motherfuckers. Oh, this is amazing. Oh my goodness. But I'm so glad I know. Ain't nothing I can do about the past, but I can move forward. Okay. Monkey sounds. Alright. To his credit, his performance was sharp, but I highly doubt he was aware of the ritual mocking by the false Jews that are his employers, and I absolutely doubt it too. I just don't fucking know. Oh my god, these people sell out for anything, but man, I hope you don't know Morris Day. Okay. Before those same 59th Grammys, Alwyn, Alwyn Jarreau, the jazz musician was found dead, and not by chance. The name Alwyn has gematria of 59. Goodness gracious. For more parallels to the royal family involving time, Prince William was 33 years old at the time of Prince's death, and his June 21st, 2016 birthday was to come 61 days later. The name Prince William also has ordinal gematria of 144, the same as Prince Nelson. Just as good, Prince George turned 33 months old the day of Prince's death. In light of the coordination of the death of Princess Diana, this alignment shouldn't have any surprise, and it just goes to show how well the chessboard is set by the Masonic tyrants for their planned rituals involving the taking and faking of taking human life. Either way, real or not, the death rituals hurt many people beyond the reported deceased. My sister and mother, among millions of people, were very sad after the news of the passing of Prince. Absolutely right, because I hated to hear that too. I'm a big Prince fan. My goodness, I love Prince. I don't listen to that type of music too much anymore, but I sure did. Used to love Prince. When Doves Cry. That was one of my favorite songs. Man. Also connected to his death was his Super Bowl performance of Purple Rain, February 4th, 2007. To date, that is the only Super Bowl halftime show performed in the rain. And rain has gematria of 42, similar to February, and the date of the performance 4/2. The reason the halftime show connects to his death is because the word Super Bowl has gematria of 41 and 112, and Prince died on the 112th day of 2016 on a date with numerology of 41. That was a span of 93 days before Minnesota would open U.S. Bank Stadium July 22nd, where both the state and stadium name Psalm 238, like Prince, who is from Minnesota, which is to host Super Bowl 52. For the record, Minnesota also has gematria of 52, like flood and glaciers. Of course, Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes due to the flooding caused by ancient glacial melt. Okay. As for his death coming a span of 93 days before the opening of the stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota sums to 93 in reduction gematria and is on the 93rd meridian west, bringing us back to Saturn, further proving the significance of the number 93, 93 weeks and 3 days after Prince's passing. And where is that? Okay, let me reread that because I know I screwed it up. Here we go. Further proving the significance of the number. See, I didn't see the comma. Further proving the significance of the number. 93 weeks and 3 days after Prince's passing, he would be paid tribute to at Super Bowl 52 by Justin Timberlake. Ahead, you will learn about the death of John Blackwell on July 4th, 2017, who was the drummer for Prince and Justin, a name summing to 93 in order. Oh my God. Prince's last concert was sacred, and they have quotation marks around that. Prince's last concert was a sacred experience. Okay. For yet another parallel to football, Prince performed his last shows in Atlanta, April 14th, 2016, or 14/4/144, at the Fox Theater. That was the city that would send the Atlanta Falcons to the upcoming Super Bowl to lose to the New England Patriots, who were in their 57th season in the scripted championship that was, and which we will examine in greater detail in the next chapter. Again, Prince was 57 years old at the time of death, and when you write out 57 as a word, it sums to 131. Just the same as Super Bowl, just the same as championship. In Super Bowl 51, the Patriots would run 93 offensive plays, a very large number, and one connecting to Prince's very timely death on the 93rd Meridian West. Okay. Colts owner Jim Irsay, Irsay, buys Prince's Yellow Cloud, that's in quotation marks, guitar for $137,500. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. $137,500. Okay, and that was a headline. So, adding to the Super Bowl 51 riddle was this headline from June 25th, 2016. The 32-year anniversary of the release of Purple Rain. First, notice the emphasis on Yellow Cloud, having Gematria of 51, corresponding with the word conspiracy, and the upcoming Super Bowl at the time. Jim Irsay, having named Gematria of 41, the owner of the Colts, who won Super Bowl 41 that Prince performed in, defeating the Chicago Bears, was buying the guitar that Prince used in the same halftime show. In light of him purchasing it on the 32nd year anniversary of the release of Prince's most popular album, consider NFL has Gematria of 32 and there are 32 teams. Further, as mentioned, Super Bowl has Gematria of 131, and 131 is the 32nd prime. Even more, in Satanic Gematria, NFL sums to 137, close to the purchase price of $137,500. Tying in, this guitar was purchased on a date with numerology of 67, connecting to Satanic as well as blood sacrifice. The mathematics are as follows. 6/25/2016, you add 6 plus 25 plus 20 plus 16 equates to 67. The sports riddles didn't stop there. In the world of Major League Baseball, another ritual would take place in connection to Prince. The player known as Prince Fielder would retire on August 10th, a span of 112 days from Prince's death, who again died on the 112th day of the year, finishing his career with 319 home runs, just the same as his father Cecil Fielder, who also finished with 319 home runs. Again, Prince had died 319 days after his June 7, 2015 birthday. For yet another parallel, Prince Fielder also retired 93 days after his own birthday and 42 days from his father's birthday. Consider this ritual came just before the 112th World Series, which would conclude on November 12, 2016, or 11/12, 112, and which was won by the Chicago Cubs, breaking the 108-year curse. Of course, August 10th can be expressed as 10/8/108 in ordinal gematria. Major League sums to 108. At the same time, World Series equates to 57, the age Prince passed at. Factoring in further was that the news reported Prince had to make an emergency landing in Moline, Illinois, April 15, 2016, 6 days before his death, the same state the Cubs play in. This emergency landing came on his return trip from Atlanta after performing his last concert at the Fox Theater. Making matters even more interesting, Moline, Illinois was incorporated April 21st, 1848, 168 years before the date of his death. For yet another sports riddle, Prince's last NBA game he was able to attend was on March 3rd, 2016 in Oakland, California, where he watched the Golden State Warriors defeat the Oklahoma Thunder 121-106 in the 106-foot-tall Oracle Arena. Consider Warriors have gematria of 121, same as the word revelation, and the Warriors are originally from Philadelphia, the name that has origins in Revelation. Even better, if you sum the score 121 plus 106, it totals to 227, which is the 49th prime number. Revelation, as well as Warriors, also have gematria of 49, and Prince would die 49 days after the game was played. At the same time, the word prophecy has gematria of 106, and Revelation is a book of prophecy. More importantly, Prince is remembered for saying prophecy is what we all have to go by now, and I saw him say that too. Yes, that remark came on Tavis Smiley's show July 20th, 2011, when he was explaining why he didn't vote in U.S. elections. Notice that was a date with numerology of 38 and 58. From Prince's death to the Warriors losing Game 7 of the NBA Finals to King James and the Cleveland Cavaliers on the real King James birthday, June 19, 2016, was 59 days later, with 58 days in between, two numbers corresponding with Freemasonry. Let us not forget that King James, the Rosicrucian, and a member of Freemasonry, died at age 58. The Cavs would win that game 93-89, where Oracle Arena equates to 93, and King James as well as religion equates to 89. Of course, both NBA Finals and the NBA Finals have gematria of 57, again corresponding with Prince's age of death. Alright, continuing with the prophecy riddles. Prince's home in Chanhassen, Minnesota, would be opened as a museum on October 6, 2016. Emphasis on 10/6, 106. From the time of his death on, I had been explaining the riddles of Prince and prophecy, and then they went and opened his home as a museum on the most perfect date. Making it perfect was the fact that October 6, 2016 has a date with 52 numerology, and the word prophecy has gematria of 52 and 106. At the same time, let us not forget that Minnesota also shares gematria of 52, same with Paisley Park, the number connecting to Kabbalah, Tree of Life, Etz HaChaim, gematria, and more. To be clear, Paisley Park is where his home, now museum, is located in Chanhassen, having reduction gematria of 38, the same as Minnesota and Prince, and at the same time reminding of Graceland, which is also now a tourist attraction. And in case you're thinking any of this is coincidence, let me share with you this headline from Prince Fielder's retirement about his $106 million gift. Wow. Perhaps with the 2010 reference, they're hoping people can see their riddles clearly. Prince Fielder's goodbye present, $106 million through 2020. Shit. Going back in time, Prince's mother, Mattie Shaw, born November 11, 1933, had died February 15, 2002, 14 years before the death of Vanity on the same day and 112 days before Prince's 44th birthday. Adding to the intrigue, the name Mattie Shaw has gematria of 38, and she died on her 97th day of being 69 years old or 96 days after her birthday. As you know, the word death has gematria of 97, and so does the name Prince. It reminds that Prince's death was blamed on the drug fentanyl, having gematria of 34, 38, 97, and 119 in the four base ciphers, similar to how Prince equates to 38, 34, 65, and 97 using the same methods. Also interesting, her maiden name, Shaw, has gematria of 57, corresponding with Prince's age of death. That same number also factors into his father's death, who passed August 25th, 2001, 57 days after Prince turned 43 years old. His father was the musician John Lewis Nelson, born June 29, 1916. His name had gematria of 211, the 47th prime, and just the name John Nelson summed to 144, matching Prince Nelson, and also time. PM Dawn rapper Prince B dies at 46. Atrell Cortez, better known as Prince B, from the 90s R&B duo PM Dawn, died Friday. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. For yet another riddle. 57 days after the death of Prince, June 17, 2016, a date with numerology of 59, the rapper Prince B would die at age 46 from kidney disease, the same cause of death Vanity died from, on the 46th day of the year. Factoring in his birth name was Atrell Cortez, and that's Attrellcordes, Atrell Cortez, having gematria of 199, the 46th prime number. Then nearly a full year later, April 12th, 2017, it would be reported that Charlie Murphy was dead at age 57, who is remembered for participating in the Chappelle Show skit about Prince and basketball. We'll touch more on that ahead. Prince once wrote a Donald Trump song, and it is spectacular. It is a 90s romantic ballad, and it's called Donald Trump, black version. Okay. For one last point, in light of Prince dying at age 57, 47 days before turning 58, let us not forget that Trump, Agent 47, was the winner of the predetermined 58th U.S. presidential selection later that year. On November 8 or 11/8, 118, where Prince Rogers Nelson has gematria of 118, same as elevator, same as death. This is interesting because Prince had a song titled Donald Trump, black version. To build on the parallels, think about how Purple Rain has gematria of 58 and how his death was connected to the Queen and royal family. As a reminder, so was Trump's convention to Cleveland, beginning by coming out to the song We Are the Champions by Queen, 88 days after Elizabeth's birthday, where both Elizabeth and Trump share gematria of 88, same with purple. Once president, he would also make Betsy DeVos, DeVos, his Secretary of Education, who is the sister of Eric Prince, the billionaire that owns the military mercenary company formerly known as Blackwater. I bring this up because Eric Prince's father, Edgar Prince, was found dead in an elevator March 2nd, 1995, a span of 63 days from his upcoming birthday at age 63. Not by chance, the name Prince Nelson also has gematria of 63, the number corresponding with Freemasonic and Rabbinic Judaism. At the same time, 2016 is the 63rd triangular number, and that is the year Prince passed and Trump was selected. And with that, I am going to end my reading in chapter 20, and I will be back later. Thank you and have a great day.